Okay, I'm here with Kevin O'Brien from the 42 to unfortunately discuss that awful game that we just witnessed between Ireland and Belgium in Bordeaux. Kevin, what's the crack? How are you?
How's it going, Paul? How are you keeping?
Not bad, not bad. Cheers, well. I was in good spirits before the game, but had to swallow that one. There was a Belgian guy here in the bar giving me a bit of stick as well during the game because I was going mad at a few decisions in the first half that were going against Shane Long, and kind of had to throw back my face in the second half.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on it? What's your gut reaction to it? Mine is that we were simply outclassed by a formidable Belgian team who were incredibly and quite fickly written off after one poor performance against Italy.
Yeah,
this is a team just littered with top players, a golden generation, the fruition of a revolution that started back in the late 90s, similar to the German one. So I think we were beaten by one of the best teams in the tournament.
Yeah. And I think the thing about it is, we always kind of seem to do this as Irish supporters. We kind of talk ourselves up, and suddenly there was this feeling that we could beat the Belgians today, after their performance. And that's the kind of, after the final whistle, and everybody kind of comes back to, oh, we're not good enough, we're outclassed. And it's kind of, I guess, going into the game, you kind of wonder, why were we so confident that we get ours up? Because they look so good tonight,
Yeah, well, that's tournament football, isn't it? A narrative unfolds in the tournament. Like, it's funny when you watch the analysis, say, you watch Giles and Dunphy, like, they haven't seen these teams, and then there's one good performance, and they'll be saying, Austria were very good in that last game. I think they could go all the way,
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a broader spectrum approach to how we look at tournament football. And Belgium came in with pretty good warm-up games. They qualified not in the most comprehensive form, but they topped the group, didn't they? With coming second, and they stumbled against Italy, but it looked like that was the wake-up call they needed.
Yeah, I think it was.
Of course, we spoke just before this. Fellaini being taken out of the team was a big factor as well, because they basically got the ball down and played today. And when Fellaini's in there, similar to when he's in there with United, he's kind of conducive to playing a more kick and rush, physical football.
Yeah, and I agree with you there. The Belgians, they look far better team today. They passed it a lot better. I think when Fellaini is in the team, there's always that kind of. It's always a lot easier for them just to lump it up to him, So
Yeah.
I think bringing Dembele into centre midfield, bringing in Carrasco, it was good. It was Wilmot has to be credited for that. He has to. I suppose he has to get the credit for it, because they look so much better, and it's the way tournament football goes. Didn't play too well in the first game, but I think they've shown tonight that they are a good side and that they can go far in competition.
Hazard stepped up, Lukaku stepped up, De Bruyne, as he should be correctly pronounced, De Bruyne was absolutely sensational. I mean, totally dictating the play. Did you see Dunphy slagging him off after the defeat against Italy?
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want? Who's the top player if he's not a top player? Where are you setting the bar? You can't just ride a guy after one poor game.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing about him is he actually has a really, I've often joked about it, is a really low gas tank. He's got horrible cardio. He seems to be always exhausted, but he carried himself well through today, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I think in the last game against Italy, you could see him near the end, some of the passes that he was trying to find. He didn't have the legs to even make them. He was physically very tired, but the fact that Belgium dominated so much possession tonight meant that he was doing a lot less tracking back than he would have done against Italy. So that would really help him.
Sorry, I was just paying my bill there. Carry on, no problem.
No, yeah, I was just saying. I thought he was excellent, and I thought he was stuck inside a lot more tonight as well. And he was unlucky. He had a good few shots on target as well. He was unlucky not to score. So he's a big factor.
And of course, Dembele, Witsel was very good. Got the second goal, of course.
I think you talk about that second goal as well.
That's enough of blowing smoke up Belgium's arses. Let's look at Ireland and our first half, and if there's anything else we could have done to well, sorry, we had a very good first half, but do you think we could have been a bit more attacking or
Yeah,
have a different approach?
I thought we were poor in the first half, to be honest. I just think that, like for the first 45 minutes, we didn't keep the ball. We kept lumping it back to the Belgians, you know, and like the goal was always going to come.
Yeah,
like we really like
Really
it was inevitable.
I mean, there was that very borderline offside goal for Velasco as well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people be complaining about the Shane Long penalty or the penalty that he was.
Yeah. Let's go on to that because you know, obviously it is the turning point of the game, undoubtedly, because the Belgian goal comes directly from it on the counter attack, and this isn't a, you know, they get all 3 goals are really on the counter, which is a bit of an anomaly because they're not a counter-attacking team. They're a passing, patient kind of tiki-taka team. So it's quite bizarre really they got all 3 goals through the counter, and of course the first of which came via what should have been a penalty for Ireland.
Yeah.
But
like I actually wouldn't go overboard in that penalty decision. I've seen him given, I've seen him not given. Like
the pictures look really incriminating. Like I saw Ken Early the picture because he was obviously in the stadium. But what my take on the penalty, I said on Twitter, was it's, and there are degrees of penalty, of a stonewall penalty. To me, there is a difference. Okay, it could and should have been a penalty. It's a foul inside the box, but Long wasn't. He'd been sandwiched between you know, between Vermeulen and Alderweireld. I don't think he was going to get a clean header on the ball. At best, he was going to kind of chest it and probably lose possession. And I do think that's relevant in terms of. I don't think it's relevant whether the ref should give it, but in hindsight, I think it's relevant in terms of how much sour grapes you can have. Do you get me?
Yeah.
Do you follow me on that?
Yeah, I do. Like, I don't know. It does, but I think kind of for Irish people use that as an excuse now that, you know, it was a kind of I suppose a 2-goal swing there really. You know, it's not something I'd agree with. I think that
it's a little bit far-fetched, you know. A little bit clutching the straws. We do love a kind of what's the story, like that kind of martyr narrative that, you know, or hard done by narrative. Even did you hear Paul Howard recently on he was very good on Second Captain to talk about how we were hard done by back in '82. To get to that 84 World Championship, wasn't it? Or sorry, the 82 World Cup. Sorry, to get to the 82 World Cup. Of course, we have the Thierry Henry handball. And it's nice to be able to cling on to those things, but I think it's a bit living in cuckoo land.
It is a little bit, yeah. Like I think you look at
today. I'm talking about.
We came across a better team, far better players, and at the end of the day, like there was a good for classic in the sides. I don't think it would have made a difference really. I think the first goal, really what it did was it opened the game up and it meant we had to chase the game, you know, so we were left more open at the back, like you said. You know, but I don't think Ireland were ever going to, I don't think we were going to score. Like we had a few half chances, like we really lacked
in the first half. I don't think we strung 3-5 passes together, and then, you know, we were just, their movement and their technique on the ball, and this goes back to coaching, that the whole 10,000 hours concept they went and produced these players like Hazard, De Bruyne, who, you know, the products of that football revolution. We haven't got a single player in the team. Hooligans are one player who comes anywhere near them, and probably wouldn't get into their squad. You know, in terms of technique and that one moment, he actually had that one moment. Obviously, he scored that great goal with Sweden, and he is a fantastic player. He had that one moment to kind of take advantage of that slip they had in defence, and he just delayed on the ball, and whereas De Bruyne would have just slid that in without the ball just like Velcro to his feet. Actually, players like Whelan today was very good, I think, but he's, you know, just so technically limited. There's not a lot he can do. He does his very best.
Yeah, and I think that's like when you look at Ireland tournaments, ultimately we go out because we're technically inferior than the opposition, you know, and like it pretty much comes down to a lack of ability to kind of keep the ball, pass the ball.
Sorry, I should say that's being hard on Brady. He was excellent today, I thought.
Yeah, Brady was excellent. I thought Hendrick was good as well. I thought Coleman was decent.
Brady is a technically very good player, actually, very good player.
To
be fair to him. It was great to see him moved up. I actually heard Kenny Cunningham saying that in news talk during the week that he should be moved up because he's just so good on that wing that it's a waste having him full back, and that was justified today.
Yeah.
You know, the way in Sweden when he cut in off the left and had that shot off the right, he's very like Hendrick is as well, and like McCarthy isn't. He's ambitious and he's got the desire to try to do things. I suppose we need more players like that.
Yeah, I think we do. I thought it was a good decision to play Brady on the left, but you know we did miss Walters a little bit in his industry on the right, and I thought just the way we had to set up, we just couldn't keep possession there. The guys in midfield, we really struggled, and especially after the start, Belgium they really dominated us. Like, you know, we didn't really come into the game until we were 1-0 down, and then we started playing a little bit, and you're kind of thinking, hold on, maybe we're going to get back into this, and then the second goal comes and it's game over really.
What did you think of McCarthy? Of course, he was kind of scapegoated after the Sweden game, taken off today.
And I think people kind of will look at him as well as the scapegoat really. I mean, you know, the first goal, he jumped in, dived in when he didn't need to dive in, and then the Witsel's goal as well, it was just, I mean, he completely lost him at the back.
Would you blame him? You talk about the moment where he slid in for Hazard.
Yeah, I thought.
Would you blame him for that though? If he gets that, that's an amazing tackle.
It is, but I think, you know, I don't think he's getting that. I think all he has to do is play safe there. Like, you know, the Belgians are under counter attack. I think, you know, stand off him or stand him up, and just kind of force him to go down the line. Like, really, he was going nowhere. You know, I think a more experienced player, even Glenn Whelan, if he was there, he would have just shepherded him down the line. I just thought, it was bad. I think he was trying to dive in and kind of, you know, put the ball out for throwing, but there wasn't a need to do it. I think he really got fouled.
That's fair enough. There's another point a player I was going to bring. McLean came on the second half to try to inject a bit of. He normally injects a bit of energy and rage and anger, but in the 2 times he's come on, he just has been totally ineffective. Did you see his attempt at a knuckleball free kick?
Yeah. It wasn't too good now, is it?
No, it's just kind of
like, I think McLean's just a limited player. You know, he gets the ball, you know what he's going to give you, but at this level, it's kind of hard. You know, it's alright in the Championship or in the lower ends of the Premier League doing it, but you know, the European Championships, like, you get a ball and kick it down the line or run after it. You know, there's not too many defenders that you're going to beat doing that.
Remember he burst onto the scene with Martin in Sunderland and he was scoring all these goals and dribbling past players. He's totally devolved. He's gone backwards from. I remember his first breakout season. He was a really exciting dribbler. Just doesn't seem to have it right now.
I think some of that might have been down to, you know, he was new in the scene. Nobody really knew who he was. Maybe he was a little bit underestimated, but I think technically he's a little bit limited as well. What he can do. He put in one great ball, but other than that, it's just, you know, it's kind of. I think outside the first 13 or 14 players in the Irish squad, we don't have too much of a bench, you know, to come on and actually impact the game. I think that showed again tonight.
No, that is a problem with it's a bare 11, you know. Even for one injury like Walters, it's a huge drama. Where look at the likes of Belgium, Spain, Germany. It just makes very little difference to them when they lose one player. It takes them to lose 3 or 4 to really have to make any. For it to affect their play in any way, we have to shift our formation. We have to do so much. In those circumstances. So, what are you thinking for the Italy game now? Do you think we can salvage anything?
I think it's possible. Obviously, the Italians are already through. So
yeah, they've been, you know, classically Italian, just putting into. Obviously, the first performance was very good, but yesterday, although I didn't see the whole 90 minutes. It appeared like both teams were pretty crap, but they just know how to grind out the win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think
coming up those late goals, like this guy Eder, he's not a really great player. Comes up with this fantastic piece of virtuosity to win the game for them.
Yeah,
they've got these players like Fabian. Remember Grosso back in 2016?
Yeah,
these players produce these big moments when you least expect it to. They've got that tournament pedigree. I know it's been out cliches, but it's all true.
I think the big thing with the Italians, I mean, people are expecting them probably to make a lot of changes, expecting Conte to kind of switch around, but the big thing is, you know, those 3 centre backs and the goalkeeper, and if they play I think we're going to really struggle to win the game, no matter how many other changes they make, because defensively they're just so well set up. They're they're intelligent, and they're just really hard to break down. And like you said, they're a tournament team. So it all depends. If Conte plays those guys, then we're really going to struggle.
It's like what they've lost in Pirlo and Verratti's passing guile. It's like they've gained in. They've become even more Italian. They've kind of gone back to their defensive roots. If you look like in 2014, for example, they played past England off the park through Pirlo. But when you haven't got a player like that, you need to obviously cut your cloth accordingly. And looks like it's going to be really hard to break down.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how the players react to this. I think everybody gave him a lot of praise after the Sweden game. The Irish players I'm talking about. So coming into the Italy game now, it's going to be interesting to see. Are we going to see like the France performance when the Henry handball, where we really just went at them and didn't show them any respect, or are we going to sit back, try and nick a goal on a counter attack, or nick a goal from a free kick or a corner? I think it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, I hope Martin O'Neill can kind of lift them now after this. I'm sure he will. He seems to be a very good man manager, and you'd hope that he can get the players up for it.
I mean, it's just so disappointed coming in with the high hopes we had, and just really just fairly comprehensive footballing demonstration we took today. Hopefully we can learn from it and try to beyond this tournament, maybe try to become a more of a footballing team like Scotland. I know they didn't get to the Euros, we got there ahead of them, but they actually play much better football than we do. They play us off the park in Scotland, and maybe we can, looking into next tournament, try to start getting the ball down more, like you said, like we didn't do today.
I don't know. I don't think if the players, to be honest, to play that kind of game. You look at young players coming through now. There's not too much. Like, we're one of the oldest squads in the tournament.
Yeah, no, we are.
We are the oldest squad. Yeah. So I don't think the future's too bright in terms of technical players coming down the line.
Well, yeah, that probably is the bleak kind of truth.
Yeah.
To be fair, just trying to clutch out a few straws there.
Yeah.
Listen, Kevin, I think we'll probably wrap it up there, just because this bar where I'm closing up.
Right, okay.
So thanks very much, mate, for coming on. And
Deadly, no worries at all.
And breaking down the game for us there. Ireland's disappointing defeat against Belgium today. Kevin's at Ireland's top sports website, it's 42.ie, and if anyone wants to follow you on Twitter, of course they will. So how do they? What's your
Kev O'Brien 7.
What's your handle? At Kev O'Brien 7.
Yep.
Okay, good stuff. All right, cheers. Thanks a lot, Kev.
All right, cheers, Mark.
Hopefully chat to you again after we beat Italy.
Definitely.
All right, man. All the best. Good luck. Cheers. Bye bye.